Yeah, yeah. What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shine. My mental's parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shine. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast. Welcome to episode 25. What's going on, fellas? DT, G, what's going on?
Hey,
Salute.
guys, what's up? How you guys doing?
Just Jerry in the house. DT, fellas, we're still here bringing another one here. Today we're going to get a little more serious, even though we feel like we bring good content and whatnot, but this is a little less joking around here. There's something that's really going on, something that's really affecting us. And that would be, the war that's going on in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine, and how it's affecting real estate. Because believe it or not, it plays a role in real estate. Obviously, you see the gas prices right away, you feel it, and eventually you'll feel it in real estate, and it will trickle down. Absolutely. So I definitely want to jump into that, guys. DT, just Jerry. Let's go ahead and get right into it for the people, and let's give them what we got.
Absolutely.
Talk to us, baby.
So today, I got a text from one of my employees. He says, "Hey, because of the war and the gas prices and the traveling time that I have to do with the truck and all this other stuff, can I get a pay raise? Materials are going up and jobs are taking longer because of ordering stuff. So I feel like, now's the time to talk about a pay raise." That's how I started my day-to-day, right? So, all right. I got that at like 11 o'clock at night. I wake up in the morning, I see it. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, we just digest this. Let me make sure I understand this right. This gentleman doesn't pay for any material. We supply a vehicle for him. He has a gas card. Why does the Ukraine war affect his work hourly when we pay for gas, we pay for material? Why would he say that?
And you got a company car.
And he's got a company vehicle. So initially I was like, why? But then I thought about it.
Yeah, because you're doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, like
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It
doesn't make no sense.
Since COVID. So I mean,
but even still, it doesn't come out of his paycheck or his pocket. It doesn't affect his bottom dollar.
Right.
But it does, because I had to really be stand corrected. So this morning when I called him, I'm like, initially I'm like, Papa, what do you mean? And then he's like, from where I live to where I work, there's a commute. And that commute is my gas is changed, significantly. Number one. Number two is, if it takes normally 3 or 4 days to get materials, the job that I was supposed to be on for 4 or 5 days, I'm only there for 4 or 5 days. But because the materials are taking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, now I'm like filling in the blanks, and it's costing me my hourly or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. It makes sense. I didn't think about it like that. So,
well, let me stop you real quick, right? And don't lose your place here. But he's saying that his commute to work, now with gas, it's costing him more, right? That commute. But is he able? I just want to be clear for everyone. Is he able to take home the work vehicle?
No.
Okay, so he's got to pay out of pocket to get to work. But once he gets to work and parks it, then he jumps in a company vehicle. Yep.
Okay. And then we have other members of our staff that they don't have company vehicles, right? They have their own vehicle that they use. And obviously before, our pay periods, what they were, our pay amounts, what they were, gas is getting more expensive. Pay rates are not going up as the gas goes up, because the gas is going up faster than anybody can afford. So really his text message brought me to like a come to Jesus moment. over my entire maintenance staff. Because those that don't have company vehicles, I have to really think about that. Like, these guys are paying for gas. It's like $4.49 or $4.39 a gallon for the cheapest 87 gas. It's $4.89 for the premium. I got to think about that for them. So because of what he said, which in my brain, it was like, why would he even say that? This doesn't apply to him. It really made me reevaluate my whole thing. So anyways, so I'm contemplating in my head as a business, me and my lady this morning, we're like, we got to do some things. We got to change something. We got to give incentives because, we want to keep your staff. We want to make sure that they're, happy because somebody else may come in and offer them, something different. You want to make sure you keep them happy. Number one. Number two is the job that they were on, it required some cabinets and they were ordered and then now they're on back order for 2 or 3 weeks. They're not happy about that because they're kind of sitting limbo. So now we're sending them to, another job to kind of fill in the blanks. And it just was a mess, that particular job. And it wasn't by something that we can control. But long story short, the effect of this, the war, believe it or not, and what's going on in the world is affecting, obviously gas prices, COVID is affecting the delivery as well as the war of materials and stuff like that. So now you got to reconsider that in real estate. So when you quote a job, like when Lance and Jerry own a property and it needs a rehab or it needs a rent ready, right? If you ask me or our company for a quote today, and let's say we quote you at $1,500, we only honor that quote as of like a week and a half ago. We stopped honoring. Normally we honor quotes for 30 days. A week and a half ago, we had to stop honoring quotes for 30 days because now materials are going up daily. So our quotes are only valid for 6 days now.
Right. The world's changing so quickly.
Let me tell you how bad it is. This is how bad it is. So I'm in a situation right now where I quoted a job. Owner's going through. There's a program through the housing council that they're refunding owners. We talked about this for health and safety issues, violation issues, vacant units, as well as eviction prevention program. So if you have certain situations and you have to own 9 units or less, there's a certain owner who has that. He fits the criteria. He got a quote. He needs a roof done. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we sent him a quote for a roof. The quote was almost 13 grand. He puts in his paperwork. It takes like a week and a half for him to get approved. He gets approved. After he gets approved, it takes him about another week for him to send us the funds. So we're talking 3 weeks time. Sends us the funds. We get the funds on Friday. We start the job on Monday. When we quoted him the job, the material list was $6,300, right? 3.5 weeks ago. When we ordered the list, the job, it was $10,400.
That's a huge jump.
In 3 weeks.
It's a huge jump. So if you're building your own house right now, or want to build your own house right now, and once again, this is how it goes back to real estate. I mean, do you make that move? Because it's unpredictable now because of the war that's going on. You just don't know, what that price looks like. Even as a contractor, do you really want to quote someone right now? It takes, 3, 4, 5, 6 months to build a property.
Yeah.
Do you want to quote someone right now? And by the 6th month, you're still getting more materials, and it's costing you more than what you thought it was going to cost when you priced it. So, I mean, do you stop your life?
Yeah, you don't. You can't, right? I mean, there's no way. But so like industry standard now is no longer industry standard. You can't honor your quotes for 2 weeks, 60 days, 30 days like you normally would. Now it's literally, I give you this quote. If you don't say yes today, then I can't honor it.
So what's your favorite quote? What Jerry? Hold on.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Jerry.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. It's sad, but it's the real reality. So with that roof job, right? The reason why the owner sent the funds and did that job is because they got the approval from the housing council that they were going to refund them that money, right? So he only got approved for like a little less than 14,000, but he got a little less than 14,000 because he got the roof and some other violations. Now his roof alone is going to cost him like 18,000. So he went from almost 13 to $5,000 more just for the roof.
So all those little miscellaneous things that he was adding in there, now they have to come out of pocket.
It's over for that. So now how do you have that conversation? Direct results from what's going on in the war, obviously also, spillover from what's going on with COVID, with the lack of supplies, even gas as well. So that's without the contractor saying, hey, listen, when I quoted you that, it didn't cost me what it cost me now to gather the materials for the dumpster people. Like everything went up in the course of 3 weeks. So we're talking about just materials cost $5,000 more. We're not talking about the dumpster, which was $1,000 or $900 is now $1,400 because the gas for them to deliver the dumpster, take the dumpster, it's crazy. It's like, it's unbelievable, but this is the reality. This is the story we live right now. What do you do? Right? How do you handle that? You just got to be transparent. You got to tell the owner, listen, this is what it is.
All right, so let's say, let me stop you. So just Jerry, you're an owner. You hear that news. What do you do here? Do you move forward? Do you hold out and hope that things go back to the way they were, so that way you don't have to come out of pocket like that? What's the plan of action?
We come to a medium. You're not going to tell me it was 64 and now it's 10,000 because the materials went up. You gave me a quote. So come to a medium. You take a loss, I'll take a loss. That's the only way it works. Because if you want to continue business with me, it got to be pushing and give and pull.
So and right now,
I would ask for a medium.
And right now, they're walking away.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening because and you're right though, Jerry. Because to like the owner who got this quote, you're on that contract that says this quote is good for 60 days. So technically, that contractor is liable for that quote. Like he has to take the loss,
right? And
contractually, if they pursue through legal actions, he has to take that loss. But when you go to court, especially in this environment, you have to ask yourself, is a judge going to favor you or the contractor?
Well, isn't the contract the contract?
It is.
I mean, when did the contract stop being a contract?
It never stopped, but there's always two sides to a story, or three sides actually.
Paperwork is paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sign. Here's your contract. I put my name on it, right? The same way, if you started a job and you finish it, and I go, no, I'm not paying. You be able to take me to court, right? The same way is
you're bound to that,
right? I mean, this should be no in between. Or you could be a good guy like just Jerry, and hey, listen, let's meet in the middle. You got to take a loss on this. I got to take a loss on this.
Yeah.
And when you say take a loss, it means that your profits may not be, the margin may not be as wide. No,
sir, bro. No, sir. That's not necessarily true. Not necessarily from a contractor's perspective.
So you're saying the contractor is doing it for free already when they quote you?
No, but they have an overhead. So,
but all that is implemented in the price,
right?
They factor all that in. So, right. If they're making $2,000,
that's a great number. Stand on. I need you to hold that. Use that number, and we're going to go from real math on that. Go ahead.
I'm not into the. I'm not. I didn't have the conversation. I'm not the owner, but we're going to use 2,000. If it went up $4,000, I would ask you to take 1,000 off. And I'll pay the rest, or I'll come to a in between because you know that you gave me a contract.
Yep.
And I'm standing on your contract and still saying after your contract I'm going to give you more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it came up to more. Because all I have to do is say this is what your contract said, and to be honest, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm saying, hey, I'll come to a medium because everything went up. Yes, we didn't know Russia was going to go to war. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, understood. but work with me so we can get it done.
Yeah. And you're 1,000% right on your stance. Like if it's in a contract, whoever the contract came from, you're liable for that. Whatever the literature is in that, you're going to be held to that. Whatever the variables are that may have affected why you couldn't produce that is not really an excuse because you're held to that. Let's be clear. A contract is a contract is a contract. What I'm saying is that contractors are now taking that stance where I'll go to court. Let the judge deal with it because, you know, they have to understand that's their stance, what's going on and whatever. So because they had a bad contract and they didn't cross their T's and dot their I's on that particular contract, and they weren't aware of that particular time, you know, because of the war and COVID and what's going on, you know, that doesn't become the fault of the owner of the merchant, of the customer. The liability has to fall on the contract because that's your contract.
You gave me the quote, yeah.
Right? You gave me the quote. So the contractors are not like, you know what? I'll take my chances in court because I can't take this type of loss because again, the contractor quoted you for the less than 13 grand, right? The material, so the quote, let's just say the quote was 13,000, right? The material alone was 10,700. You have $2,300 now to pay for dumpsters and material. If a dumpster
is already paid for, you said. So
I'm sorry, labor. Dumpster and labor. My bad. Apologize.
No, sorry. That's why I'm the host. Don't worry about it.
My guy. Dumpsters and labor. So if the dumpster costs $700-800, you know, now you're at $1,500 for labor.
So you're saying there's really no room to negotiate.
There's no room. So if you tell him I'll meet you in the middle, he's like, I can't move. There's no meet you nowhere. I'm already losing.
So what you didn't say was another number.
Mm-hmm.
You gave us 18,000 to do the roof alone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now you're saying 18,000. That's with labor, sir.
Right. Because the initial labor, so the roof,
for everything.
Right. 13, a little bit less than 13. Remember when I said the material is like 65, somewhere in that range?
What did he say? But hold on. I don't want to be clear. I want to be clear though, because what he's saying now is that the material I quoted you on, that price for the material has not now gone up. Mm-hmm. It's not that my margin has gotten wider. Right. It's that the material has gone up, and that's the only reason why I have to come back to you. Because if the material didn't go up, we don't have this conversation.
Right.
So I need to get the material.
So correct.
I know where you're going, Jerry, but
you went to 18 though.
Yeah, I know where you're going. I got you. So
you didn't stop at 8. You didn't stop at 14 and say I'm taking a loss. You moved up the goalpost. So your material was 10 grand. Mm-hmm. Where's the 8 grand going? Because it was 13. Grand. It was 5 more. You put 5 more on that.
The difference is the cost of material. So in my original quote, the cost of material was
64,
somewhere around 6 grand, whatever, 6,400, right?
Yeah.
The material now went up 4,000 and some change.
Correct.
Right. Plus
so that price is going to go up from 14 to 4,000 and some change added on top of it because the material went up.
It's just material.
His number, what he's making doesn't change.
Yeah. Profit doesn't change.
Right.
Material price changes, and then the overhead portion. You know, your gas to get you there, the charge at the dump, you know, a normal dumpster costs you $700-800. Now this dumpster, you know, they were smarter than us. You know, we initially normally get them at $700-800, but this one is going to cost us $1,200-1,300 because of the current conditions. So now dumpster material is really what it boils down to on now your $5,000 increase. If that's the difference. As a contractor, you don't want to make no more money because there's you know, a crazy scenario happening or, you know, an anomaly. And if you already quoted it, you know, how could you stand before somebody else and say, hey, listen, I quoted you at $10 for labor. Now I need 12. No, $10 is a number.
Right.
Period. Like, we're not changing that. Now, if something else changes, and let's be clear, in the roofer's contract, it does say barring any unforeseen incidences. So that's his out.
Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
What was the profit he was making off the first original plan?
I don't know his pockets and I don't know his overhead, but I know what his labor was.
You're gonna give
like,
me an average.
So I'm gonna give you real numbers.
Okay,
so materials was like 6,500.
Yep.
Dumpster was like 900. Let's call it 1,000, right?
$1,000.
So 7,500 was materials and labor.
Yep.
His total price.
Labor.
I'm sorry.
Materials and garbage.
Materials and dumpster. His total price was 12,750.
So he was getting off of labor. He was making $5,000.
$5,000 plus he has, to pay his guys, which he pays them. I don't know. Let's call it 5 guys at $200 a day. He's there for 3 days.
So how much take away, how much profit was he coming home with?
2,500. No, probably after a whole overhead and everything, maybe 1,500, 2,000.
Correct. So there's no leeway for that? That's what I'm asking.
Is there leeway? I mean, I would always assume there is, but it's not.
That's the conversation. We went up from 12,700 to 18,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you're asking me to pull all that by myself.
Right. So I would say a fair number for him to fold or to give in, understanding the numbers and real, maybe $500, maybe, because you understand what he just did for you. Like, it's a lot of work, man. That's not easy. Where roofing is.
It's not that. It's at the end of the day, it's material. The material cost went up. So, I mean, it takes the material to do the job.
Yeah. And
now here we are, so now you and I got to figure it out. But I wasn't going to make much money in the first place. I make $1,500 after I pay my guys and, I charge you. And now the only person that could take a hit is me and you.
Yeah.
You're going to come out of pocket more and more is going to come out of my pocket.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So what the war does, it leaves two people like this with a situation.
How do you make it right though, as a contractor, right? As a contractor, hold up, G. One second, my bad. As a contractor, how do you make it right? Because I don't want to make sure we lose this. Because Jerry has a very valid point, right? You made the mistake, right? It wasn't really me. And I get it that there's a reason why you made the mistake, whatever that is, but at the end of the day, I'm the consumer. You are the person who charged me. You set a number. I agreed to it. It should be that number. Right. Right. So you stand on that as you should.
People would think. Right?
I would. Yeah. No, I stand on it as you should, because I don't want to act like I'm ignorant to that. Right. So as a contractor, I'm not ignorant to that. I understand that. Right. But I'm showing you my math. Like,
correct.
I'm literally giving you everything. I'm not hiding.
You
showing you everything. So what I'm gonna do is
you were gonna make 2,500 regardless.
2,000. The best I can do for you.
He was gonna make 2,000 regardless.
I'll give you a $500 credit, and then what a good contractor would do is be like, I'll also throw in, the gutters, the wrapping of the window, the this, the that. Like, they'll try to do any other service that they can do where they can keep all their money and maybe throw in some more time.
So that's the conversation I'm having, because you also said in the beginning of the conversation that was not the only thing he was doing. He had other violations.
The tenant, I mean the landlord,
the landlord,
the owner's responsibility. So the check that he got from the government was to cover the roof and those violations.
Correct. So if he throws those violations in for 18,000, knowing
he could try, I'm not saying he would. I'm not saying he is.
There's the compromise. That's what I'm asking for.
You're not telling me. It could be, but it can also be like, man,
I ain't doing it. I understand, but that right there would be foul as a contractor.
Yeah,
because
Not really though. Not really. It's really not like you would see that as a consumer, and that's why this is going to work.
I see it. That's
yeah,
how I see it.
As you should. And if I'm in your shoes, I don't really disagree with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is really a real conversation because you got to see both sides, right?
I love this, and I want to stop you guys because I love this. What's going on right now? Because just Jerry really feels this way,
as he should.
You, DT, with your background, you really feel this way,
as I should.
This is not like
I understand fully. So let's go back to what you said, Lance. I'm taking a hit, and the contractor's taking a hit.
Correct.
He did not take a hit because all his number was $2,000 regardless.
No, if he compromises and you meet in the middle, you're both taking a hit.
You're never going to meet in the middle.
Correct. That's what I'm trying to explain.
So then he wouldn't take the hit. But I was going off what you were saying, where let's meet in the middle, where there's a medium. And if that's the case, it's two people standing there, and then the only two people that are going to compromise are you guys. You're gonna come out of pocket, and he's gonna have his money come out of his pocket. Yeah. Right. And that's the only way you guys can meet in the middle.
Okay.
Right. Really, the way this boils down is, and at the end of the day, there's not going to be a satisfied party on both sides. Right. The owner's not going to be satisfied, nor is the contractor.
I would, though. If you were compromised. But
I'm not. The most I'm going to give you is $500, and maybe I'll try to give you, a couple extra things here and there, but I'm not going to spend. I'm not going to be satisfied. Yeah.
So I know. What does he do? Sit with the check?
Yeah, no, this is what happens though. This is what happens. So there's options on the owner side. There's options on the contractor side. Because the owner could say, I'm not paying you. I gave you my deposit. I'm not paying you. Now the contractor could put a lien against the property, and it lasts for 6 months, and it is what it is. Now, small claims court, whatever. The owner can say, Better Business Bureaus, internet, bad reviews, which means a lot to businesses. Like the owner has rights to, but
how would the contract put a lien on?
Hold up, bigger picture, Jerry. 1 second, because the thing that the owner never realizes or never considers, and I say this as a contractor, right? And I'm glad that we went through this whole episode and it never once was mentioned, because all you see is your side, rightfully so. That's the only side you should see. You see the price he gave you to now the price that he now submitted to you. And in your perspective, you're like, how do we get that? And what he originally said and what I said, now we got to meet somewhere in the middle. You don't see that if the price that it really ended up being, if he knew that initially, that price would have been substantially more. So you see that he made $2,000, that he should give me $500. He sees that he should have made $4,000 or $5,000. So he lost that $2,000-$3,000 up front. He can't even go get that. So now you're asking him to give up $500 more.
I never asked for $500. I want more.
He's saying he wants more.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, so when the contractor says, I'm only going to give you $500, you only see that as $500. The contractor sees that as, I already gave you $3,000-$4,000.
How are you?
Now you want me to give you $5,000?
Because at the beginning of your conversation, he was always making $2,000.
Nah, you're wrong on that.
I promise you.
You said
I asked you what would he be making at the front of the game.
I get it. But so in the contractor field, that's what the contract would tell the customer.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about it. I asked you, as the number guy that you're going through, at the beginning of the quote of $13,000, $12,700. How much money is he making personally? You said the garbage, the materials, the labor. He's coming home with maybe $2,000, $2,500.
Okay.
Now, when he put it up to $18,000, how much money he's still making?
Hold up. How much is that job?
$12,700.
All right. So on a $12,700 job, his profit is typically 10%. Right?
So that's $2,700.
Okay. So on a $18,000 job, how much should his profit now be?
It should be 8,000.
It should be 10%.
Do the math.
And I'm trying to tell you, it shouldn't be. Because the materials went up and the contract was there. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
You're missing the point, though.
You believe I'm missing the point.
You are. No,
but I am definitely not missing the point.
No, because
I'm trying to explain to you what I see as a consumer.
Right, and the weight. That's why. Remember when I just said this? It was never brought up through this whole conversation that he only made $2,500 or $2,000 on the initial estimate that he gave you, or the quote, right? If the job would have
I see what you're saying. I
quoted at $18,000, his profit would have been larger.
Right.
So now, if he had an $18,000 job with a larger profit, for him to lose that, it's a different number. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the point you're missing.
I understand your conversation. Understand what I'm saying. Nothing changed but material for him. He's doing the same labor. If it was an $18,000 job, then I understand the 10%. It's not the same thing anymore. He's doing the $18,000 job because the material went up.
Right, but when he said the material was going to go up previously.
Is it an $18,000 job? Yes or no?
No, it's a 12.7. It's only $18,000 job because yesterday we had war. So now you could physically say that. Technically, yeah, but you can't tell me that a day ago. A day ago was 12.7. I have a quote saying 12.7.
It's not a day ago, but okay.
No, but I know. So let me try to break this down. Let me try to break this down as the host. Let me try to break this down as the host. So you're saying what I think just Jerry is saying is going, you presented me one thing. Now the number has changed because material has changed. So your profit should stay the same because the material has changed. You're saying if he had foresight and could see that the material was going to change, right, and that job was going to be 18,000, he would have put that 10% in there and would have made even more money. But he couldn't foresee it because you didn't know war was going to happen and you didn't know the materials were going to happen. So what you guys are saying is you're both right, but you're talking about two different scenarios. He's talking about already seeing the contract, and you're saying before I would have wrote that contract, if I knew that this shit was going to go up, I was going to juice you for more.
I'm not really saying that because the only reason why I brought that up was because on the hindsight, the owner says, like Jerry's point, we got to meet in the middle. So if the contractor says, okay, we'll meet in the middle, I understand that it's on me that I messed up because of the materials and I didn't project and all this stuff. That's a contractor problem. That's not an owner problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's be clear. That is 100% a contractor problem. So the contractor's perspective of meeting you in the middle is giving you that $500 credit and trying to make a couple things right. But there's a limit to that.
That's the reason why I'm saying, yes, I don't want $500. Me, as a consumer, if you could add in the violations, that's medium for me.
So if the contractor adds in the violations, are you going to pay $18,000?
Yeah, because the materials went up. I understood the conversation that you gave me.
So then,
but you're meeting me in the middle with violations.
That is absolutely a happy medium.
Yeah, absolutely.
You made the same point as well, DT. You said that he's going to start trying to, sweat equity. Trying to,
Yeah, because that's the contractor. It's affordable for him to try to make. That's the way he can make it right.
Right, and he's saying, "I'm cool with that."
Because you got to remember, you gave me $18,000 alone on the roof.
Yeah, but
you're going to give me another quote,
which I'm misunderstood. I'm on the same page. I was under the agreement that the understanding that meeting in the middle never stayed on the 18,000.
Right, because he was speaking about cash first.
I was speaking cash, but a medium is anything.
Right, but a medium is anything. But does your number still stay at 18,000?
I can't change because you're not taking less than that.
Here's how he justifies the 18,000. Yeah, fine. You want to charge me 18,000? That's fine. Hey, man, do you think you could repaint this room for me as well while you're at it?
No. In those sense, yes, you're right. But he in the beginning of the conversation, he said roof and violations. If you throw the violations involved and give me 18 because the materials went up, that's a happy medium for me.
Right.
No, you're giving me a
violation. You have to be able to paint a room. I'm just saying.
But you're giving. I'm not giving examples. He gave me a general violations.
You're actually giving examples.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, he said paint.
No, he's saying other violation. I was trying
to say violations. I'm giving example. I just want violations to clear up.
That which is an example of actually how you can make it right. The contract can make it right. They're filling your other need, right? So you're gonna get the best thing out of your buck. You're asking, okay, yes. I get it. This happened. You know, I'm not happy. Of course, I don't want to pay this, but
18,
at the end of the day, you know, I get it, but I don't want to get it. So with that being said,
correct.
What are you going to do for me? Because at the end of the day, this is really your problem.
Right.
And if I wanted to be like a stickler and stand on it, I really don't owe you that additional money because your contract says, and technically you would have to go to court and fight me for the additional whatever that is. So on that, I get it. 1,000%.
And you could also choose not to do the job.
That's why I said most contractors will walk away.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So I think what's best for both of you, just to clear this up, let's do this full circle. Shout out to DT.
Yeah.
The 500 wasn't going to do it for him.
Yeah.
But the additional violations, if he can clean everything up with just the $18,000 now, the increase.
Yeah.
He will be able to sleep at night, and that's fine.
Yep.
You, because you're good with your hands and you're a contractor, may go, this is not that much of a problem for me. It sounds like a problem to him, but it's easy for me. So it's worth it.
Instead of losing
the money,
3,000, I might only lose 1,000.
Exactly. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and fix this stuff up, clean this up for him, and then we'll just both go about our ways. And now you know how to maneuver because there's a war going on, and you know that everything is taking. Not only was it COVID that threw a wrench in everything. Now we have a war that's throwing wrenches in everything. And it's just it's tough, everyone. And this is don't always think about real estate as buying something or buying an investment property. This is real estate.
Yeah.
Fixing your properties is part of real estate. Being a contractor is an avenue of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and this is affecting people. And if you have a job that is, in one part of the city, and then you got to drive an hour and a half away to another job that's in another part of the city, then you got to drive an hour and 10 minutes to get home. All that's gas money now. Fuel costs are high. All this stuff plays a role.
Yeah.
And to be real with you, he probably could have got the fixes done, the violations done for a lot less than $18,000 total. But because we're in the situation we're in, you just got to find a happy medium for everybody.
To your point, in a normal environment, the roof and the violations would have probably only cost him like
12,700.
No, 8,000, 9,000. Because that roof would have cost.
Because materials are already high.
That roof would have cost him probably like 6,000, 6,500, and then what I'm saying, normal life. Because you got to understand the OSB, the subdecking on a roof. Before COVID was $9 a sheet. During COVID, went as high as $65.
Right.
Then it went back down to $14. 4 weeks ago, it was $14. Now it's back up to $48 because of the war. Or I don't know, maybe the second strand of COVID. I'm not sure, but I think it's war related because it really shot up that fast. I mean, in the matter of 4 weeks, it shot up to $48 a sheet.
It's so crazy because people are stressing out more over fuel costs than COVID nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You hear more about that than you hear more about COVID now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that because that's direct. I don't care who you are. It affects you directly. I don't take pictures of anything. And I'm outside like, damn, look at this. Let me send this. I'm like, look at this, fella. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I've never paid. Listen, I got 25,000 kids over here. I drive a minivan. It's $100 to fill up a minivan. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Never mind a work vehicle. That's a big old truck.
I wouldn't even tell you my gas bill a week.
That's because you drive a private jet. But at
hard to drive a jet.
You drive a private jet. but it's this stuff affects everybody. Yeah. And we don't know what's to come of the war, how long this is going to continue. And then even after that, where do we stand with COVID? It's just, I feel like it's never ending, man. It's like the song, that never ends. And once again, if you think it's just fuel, it's not. If you're in real estate, you see that it affects you.
Yeah. And nevertheless, we still stand here and tell you real estate is the way.
Right.
Invest in real estate, invest in real estate, invest. The thing about this channel, what we do is we definitely make sure we tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. You just seen it, that was like a raw conversation, and there's agreement and disagreement in our circle. But at the end of the day, we find like a happy medium. And this is like legit. This is not like scripted. This is something that Jerry really stands on what he stands. I really stand on what I stand on. Lance stands on what he stands on. And it's a real feeling, real thoughts, real perspectives. There's no partial, nothing. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. You make it make sense to me. And then, okay, now I get it. But that's really what real estate is. Like, if it makes sense, it makes dollars. If it makes dollars, it makes sense. But we are the ones that tell you that real estate is the way. Do it, make it happen. Invest. And, and if needed, we are not, if needed, you need it. We are here for you. We're here with the mentorship, the coaching, the podcast, the portal, the website, H.G.R.G.club. Please tune in, tap in. This is what we do. This is what we're here for. And in our origin, we mentioned that, we went through it and we go through it so that you don't go through it. That's why we share these stories. Right. This story today is that you can hear it, you can listen. And if you're not already in real estate and you get in real estate, you understand, okay, you know what? Maybe might not be the time to do a roof, and if I do a roof, let me ask these questions, is there inflation? Oh, if you send me a contract for 12.5 and just so happen to be, like you can cover your, your back. I gave you a horse.
Can I patch it? Do I got to do a tear off? You may want to do a tear off.
All right.
But right now you might want to patch it if you can.
Even a tarp, like, some people may say if the contractor comes back with a $5,000, work order increase, you might be like, man, listen, man, tarp that up and I'll deal with somebody else.
Right.
Charge me whatever you want to charge me for the tarp. I'm done with you. That's a reality as well. We didn't even talk about that, but that's really a reality. But I definitely get it, and I love the fact that this is organic, not manufactured.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, that was a real back and forth. I just want to be very clear to everybody, like that none of that scripted, and that's why I tried to stop and intervene earlier and go, hey, listen, I could tell by the energy that just Jerry is really serious about what he's saying, and I know DT's serious because he's a contractor. He's a contractor.
I'm just a good actor.
Are you? Well, listen, guys.
Conversation before this, I guess I'm not.
but listen, guys. Once again,
super emotional.
This stuff is real. There's real issues going on between Russia and Ukraine. And everything from fuel to real estate.
I thought some prayers out to everybody. Anybody that's involved. Bro, another thing we don't do, we don't salute our military. We don't salute our military. We don't salute people that are in the military, worldwide. Like, I got the utmost respect for military. I have a family member that's in the military, and like, salute, because man, I don't know if I could do it, but
shout out to my cousin Shane, gave his life, in the Marines. So
salute.
Absolutely. And we just don't want this to spill over into anything else that's going to affect any other country, because we just don't need it to get nasty. And right. Hopefully there can be some kind of peace treaty between Russia and Ukraine. And hopefully, this comes to some kind of conclusion that we can get back to life. We can get back to lowering these damn prices, and not so much just for the prices, but for the people on both sides in Russia and Ukraine.
Absolutely.
But
shout out to our troops, man, worldwide. Whether they're U.S. or not, shout out, salute, humble respect. to you and your families, humbly, the most respect for what you do for us in whatever country you serve, but more so for our country. Salute, salute, salute.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, guys, listen. I know we like to joke around. We like to talk mainly about, real estate subjects, but the war tied into real estate. And like I said, we're going to talk about everything on this channel. And, we'll see you next time, fellas. And ladies and gentlemen, fellas, we'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep rocking with us, H.G.R.G family.
Yeah. What they say? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the pine.